Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Friends of Mortgage Heroes. You guys all know me. I'm Andy. But today, I have the distinct honor of welcoming my friend Dina King to the studio. She is with Lease USA, long-term property management and leasing. Dina, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm super excited to be here. And as a matter of fact, it's my first podcast with you.
This is my first podcast, too.
Oh, wow.
Just
Great.
kidding.
Let's do it.
I don't know. It might be like the third or 400th. I'm not sure what number it is. I think I've just become comfortable. But thank you. This is your first podcast ever.
Yes.
Awesome. You're going to do fantastic. This is going to be super simple and easy. I'm excited to have you on today because, a couple of reasons. Number one, I think we'll be able to share a lot with each other about what's happening in the market, what's working and not working for people, even when it comes to how people are being referred and finding each other in business space. And also people like knowing and trusting you too in your role with Lease and our personal connection, knowing Billy and Yesenia for so long. So shout out to Billy and Yesenia for starting Lease USA. Super excited to have Dina here on the show. You guys are awesome. Can't wait to have you on too. So Dina, let's start first with what is it that Lease USA is known for and trusted for in San Diego?
Absolutely. So we lease property management. Well, to start with, I'm a business development manager for We Lease. So I'm basically a bridge between property owners who need solutions and property management solutions. We solve problems, and that's what We Lease is known for in San Diego market.
What are some of the things that you're hearing a lot now from people? What kind of problems are they having? Is it people not paying on time? Is it the condition of the property? Is it that there's too many applications to get through? What are some of the issues you're guiding people in right now and giving them advice on?
Where do I start with issues?
There's that many?
There's quite a few. Well, I think what I'm hearing lately, it's self-managing clients or homeowners, and they placed a tenant, or maybe a realtor placed a tenant for them. And unfortunately, they're self-managing and the rent is not getting paid on time, so they have to chase them down. So, they say, yeah, real estate is a passive investment. It's absolutely not, especially when you're a landlord. That's why we exist. So I run into those issues where, with self-managing, I'm chasing down the rents. Like, what do I do? Do I evict them? How do I serve them? Please help. And that's where we come in.
Oh man, that's a lot of things. Like I know some of those things just because of our proximity with mortgage and real estate. I am just not running towards that house fire. I'm not interested in doing that at all.
Smart.
Smart. Okay, well then that begs the question, what is so fascinating to you about property management? Or at least the business development side of property management? Like, you clearly love what you do. What is it that gets you up every single day and you're like, oh, I love doing this?
Well, to start, so I've been in property management industry since 2021. I started on operation sites. I used to work for a multifamily developer. So larger complexes, A-class community, everything is in place, like a bunch of tenants, bunch of units. So I was doing operations, and it was very fulfilling to know that tenant can find a place, and actually they can find home. So it's not a home buying process just yet, but it's very similar to that. And when you open that door for them and you're like, this is your beautiful brand new apartment, it fulfills me. That's where it started, I think. So, and, many years later, 4 or 5, I started in property management on sales and marketing and business development side, where I don't focus much on operations anymore, but I work with our real estate community specifically, and we have many agent partners where I can nurture those relationships so their clients are taken care of, so that home ownership or landlordship becomes so much easier for them. So that's where I come in and guide them through the process. So it's easy peasy. We do the heavy lifting and they focus on their families, vacations, travel, life, whatever they want to do. Yoga and Pilates, if you would ask me, because that's what I like to do on my free time. So.
They can focus on their profits.
And the profits, every month we send them the statement. Yes, absolutely.
So you're describing the joy that was coming from opening the door and someone walking into a place that they could call home. Where's that come from? Like what? Because you didn't say, oh, it's the paycheck, it's this, it's that. Like you illustrated this experience that sounds really important to you. Where do you think that comes from?
That's a great question. I've never thought about it. Where does it come from? So I think since I did not grow up here in the States and I moved here 15 years ago, and homeownership is not something that was given right away, or even like renting a space. And a lot of people here, they have to rent the space, unfortunately. What is it, like 50% of at least San Diego population? Where I grew up, we already had homes, it was already given, you have to buy. There's no like, oh, I'm going to rent it. So here it became like very vital to me knowing that, it's still going to be their home. If they're not, facing the homeownership just yet, but it's still very important to them. So I feel, and I want to make sure when they like move in or, when we have a house that we manage, obviously the owner is going to have those profits, but also the tenants going to have that home and they're going to live there. And we just literally oversee that that home is taken care of. That's, what we do now. So, and I think back to your question, just that feeling of having a right home for you. So that's important. That's where you grow. That's where you have your family. That's where you spend your time, where your free time. That's what it is.
I have a sense that the gravity and the weight of what you do is you're aware of that, and you know that that is a step in the right direction towards homeownership, and that one of those one of those steps and one of those platforms is getting just into a place that is maybe a single family home, or even if it's a townhome or a condo in a bigger community, that's a stepping stone. It's a stepping stone on the way towards home ownership. And coming from a place where home ownership was the way, it's cool to hear you say that. Like, okay, I'm in this new place. I mean, you're not new to this place. You've been here 15 years, but I understand that sentimentality of coming over here and then wanting to see that same thing for people. It very much feels like you have a heightened sense of awareness of what your role is in helping people achieve that.
Yeah, I can agree to that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So what is something that you are like right now talking to people about that maybe a couple of years you weren't? Like, a lot has changed in real estate. A lot has changed in the price of renting, even some of the problems that people are having in renting. I know there's always going to be a certain subset of rental issues when it comes to leasing properties on the owner side. You're going to have things to break. You're going to have plumbing issues, electrical problems. You're going to have whatever. Can you think of anything that has like changed that you go, oh, that's new, or that's new, or oh, I'm seeing this happening a lot more prevalent now than before?
Sure. Since everyone knows COVID happened and that those rents skyrocketed. It was cherry on top, obviously. 4 years ago. Not anymore. So market has softened for sure. Especially we've seen it now in the last year or so, where clients come in or our homeowners come in and they're like, "Well, I want this much." Well, it's not anymore there, unfortunately.
Oh,
So
they're asking for like last year's price or 2 years
yes,
ago price still?
yes.
Oh man, are they disappointed when
Mhm.
you tell them, hey, that's not in
Well,
market?
right. That's where we have to explain. So the numbers are different now. So you have to be more strategic.
Mm.
There's a lot of development happening in San Diego, especially on the multifamily side. For example, I just had a homeowner come in Mission Valley. As you know, Mission Valley is very saturated. Big companies coming in. There's a single homeowners also there. That's our bread and butter, and it's very saturated. So it became hard, to rent the place. So I've had someone recently, and the person was saying like, well, I've had this place filled for, he had a condo in Mission Valley. So he was saying like, I've had this condo filled for 13 years, and the last 5 months, I can do nothing about it. What's going on?
Whoa, really?
Yeah, Mission Valley area. So it goes back to, the market is saturated. It's not the same anymore. The prices has changed. Tenants are looking more for experiences and, great treatment versus just a place to live. So
Oh,
you have to
wow.
take that in consideration when, you work with a market. So that's where we come in and, placing those creative strategies, how to get it solved. And guess what? With that owner, we rented his place and find tenants in less than like 30 days, like 23 days.
After 5 months of being
Yeah.
vacant? Oh, wow. What changed? I mean, was it price, or was it the experience thing you're talking about? What was the differentiator in getting it rented so quickly?
Well, we have processes in place to begin with. So we have our marketing and strategies and professional media we put out there. So, and, make sure we fast on responding to tenants and so on. There's a lot goes into it.
Yeah. Well,
behind
I'm
the
not. Yeah, I don't
doors.
want you to give secrets away. I realized as you started answering, I'm like, wait, maybe I'm asking her to give away a secret. I don't want to do that. I just didn't know if maybe there was an obvious glaring problem that you just make this little pivot, or you just switch this one thing, and then boom, opportunities can be there. And I also don't mean to oversimplify it. There's a ton that goes into doing this right.
Maybe I'll give you one secret later.
Okay,
or something.
maybe later at the
Maybe
end.
later.
If we do good job in the next section, we'll. I want to come back to the experience thing though, because a lot of times I think from what I've heard, and again, this is secondhand. A lot of what I've heard is like, hey, I got a place. Someone's going to need a place to live. Who cares about the experience? Just get the thing on the market, rent it out. Why is the experience so much different now? And why is that a relevant part of people renting? Is it because they work from home? Is it because they don't want to be shackled down to a long commute? Like what are the reasons why the experience of where you live is more important than just the price?
Sure. I think it's both, actually. It's not just experience and tenant retention and how we treat tenants comes with it. Of course, if it's a great price, tenant will take it. Price dictates the market. Plus, like a cherry on top, if you want to have those retentions and if you want to have those tenants live there forever, you've got to treat them right. You got to treat them right. They're also people, they are paying your mortgage at the end of the day. They are paying, every month. They give you money. So you got to take care of that. So tenant satisfaction is important to have those ROIs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are there any challenges? I know that there's like the market challenges. Are there like legal challenges landlords are facing nowadays too, like property owners? I know that there has been, especially around San Diego, a lot of conversation and public debate and much more private debate around where ADUs are being built, where multifamily is being built, how many units can go in this cul-de-sac, how come it was a house there, now there's 30 units. Like, are there other challenges policy-wise that are facing property owners now that they weren't maybe facing 3, 5, 10 years ago?
Sure. So as you know, you mentioned ADUs, right? So everyone is like building them, which is great. It's a great value add to the property, but a lot of ADUs, what I ran into, they are unpermitted. So yeah, and if you have a renter in a permitted ADU, you're putting yourself up to a liability, and there's other legal issues. So if they report you back, that's not good. So that, I think, one of the challenges I've seen. And to get those permits, let's be honest, it's a lengthy process and it is expensive. And I totally get it that it is hard to, all right, what do you got to wait for? Like 6 to 12 months, like $20,000 later. Not everyone is like seeing it long term. They want their return now, today. They don't see like a bigger picture. They're like, no, we're just gonna rent it as it is. So I think that's where the challenges are coming from. We're trying to protect the owners, right? So, and where those like legalities come in. So we want to stay with compliance. And unfortunately, San Diego did not make it any easier with those ADUs. Hopefully, maybe one day, right?
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully, they will work with it to make it so much easier for homeowners or investors to make the process easier, so we can get the needle moving and everything will be in place and everyone's happy, and you're eliminating that liability.
Yeah,
issues, so.
and I've certainly heard my fair share of stories around the challenges of getting an ADU built the proper way, with permitting, with the process, with with drawings, having the city ask for revisions and changes, and then having to make those, then getting back in line again. And so with that, I also understand why people might think they can do it unpermitted, but it's almost like you're just setting yourself up for another potential lawsuit down the road, even if it's not with the tenant you put in right away.
Right.
It could be with something completely unrelated. And I've also recently learned some things from other conversations I've had on the show with friends of mine, specifically a friend of mine who does decks. And he does like natural wood decks as well as composite decks. And he's saying some of the rules that are coming down from California that are about to go in won't even let you have like real wood within 5 feet of the house footing.
Oh,
so he's like,
fires?
Yeah, we do decks and we do like handrails. He goes, so we're trying to build a balcony and like the last 5 feet can't be natural wood. He goes, you talk to any firefighter that's in a brush fire, high fire area, they're like, 5 feet isn't going to make a difference if that flame is climbing the hill by your house. So So I say all
California
that.
rules, right?
I say, yeah. So I say all that to admit that I hear both sides of the ADU story. I understand why you would do it this way versus that way. I want to give a space for you to say and advocate why people should do it the right way, because it allows people like you to do your job the right way and protect the asset and the investment they've made versus maybe not even be able to help them because they're skipping steps over here on the non-permitting side. How do you guys handle those situations from the property management perspective? If someone goes, hey, I got an ADU I want you to rent out, and you're all, is it permitted or not? Like, how do you handle those situations?
Well, as I mentioned earlier, I explain how it can affect them and are they willing to permit it? And depends on the answer. It will depend if we are right fit for that specific investor or homeowner. I mean, if they're planning on doing it, sure, absolutely, we can manage it. Yeah.
So what is something that you are optimistic about when it comes, because you're mentioning saturation a couple times already. What's something that you're optimistic about when it comes to housing in San Diego? Where do you think there's like a silver lining or a light at the end of the tunnel for, some of the things that are plaguing our inventory and availability to homes right now?
So when it comes to, obviously it helps with ADUs, to fulfill that shortage of the housing. And I'm really hoping that those rental prices can stabilize a little bit, because what happens is not that many people can afford some of the prices because they skyrocketed so much. So hopefully market can stabilize so tenants can afford those rental prices and homeowners can rent those houses out. So it is a win-win, for the community at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm. What would you say is something that's maybe threatening that right now? Is it that there's not enough houses coming onto the market, or I guess you're saying it's saturated, so maybe that's not the problem. Maybe it's the affordability compared to what there is the issue. Is that something that's like is that something that maybe is concerning you? Would you say? I mean, if there's a better word, use it. But
Right.
I'm just trying to figure out like what are you looking at and going, that might be problematic down the road.
Mm-hmm. Well, only certain areas are saturated, not the whole San Diego. I specifically mentioned Mission Valley because there's a lot of development happening, which is not a bad thing. It should stabilize those prices at the end of the day. But those those owners who don't have brand new property, don't have brand new apartment complex with brand new everything and technology and parking structure and all of that. Some properties were built in 20 years ago, so you got to keep up. So you got to keep up. And back to your question, can you repeat that again?
Yeah, what's concerning you about what's concerning you about the current state of things in San Diego when it comes to housing? Is there something that you find yourself thinking about and going, ooh, we don't have a solution for this problem yet? We're going to need a solution to this problem. What are you thinking about as you're out here doing this work? What's something that's all on the forefront of your mind pretty regularly?
Mm-hmm. So I think it goes back to economy. Obviously, it's a little bit shaky right now. So everyone is so what is happening? So goes back to those decisions up there. What's going to happen?
Mm-hmm.
What can we do as, reputable property management company? Those solutions will come with treating tenants right, tenant retention, because that's how you're going to sustain those, high rents and, those high caliber tenants will be coming back to you and they'll be renting out your property. And maybe just get creative and keep up with, property, little touches that will help to keep the property, keep the tenant happy. And back to the question about the shortages. Hey, maybe those developers can keep building. Please keep building.
Yeah, we need more. We need more inventory.
We need more inventory. Please keep building. Just make sure to put parking, laundry.
Oh God, parking.
Parking, laundry, and some storage for my developers with love.
With love, yeah. Put some storage somewhere. Something more than just a broom closet.
Right, and that's right.
Sometimes you don't even get a broom closet.
Exactly. So I think that'd be a great solution. So I guess it goes back to our developers. Besides us, we're just coming in, or we're already going to get what we have and we're going to work with it. But whoever, building those properties or, the owners, it's their decision how they want to upkeep it, what upgrades they want to put in. And of course, it's always going to be a plus for, the tenant pool.
So I want to kind of tackle the next topic on both sides. One about landlords and property owners, and the other one on tenants. What is the composition, in your opinion? What makes a great client for you on the ownership side? Let's talk about who is it that's a great fit for you guys. Is it that they just have one unit, or is it that they have 10? Is it that they have, doesn't matter, maybe the units doesn't matter, but they have a certain number of years of experience. Paint a picture for me on what is the ideal customer profile for you guys when it comes to working with landlords and owners.
Yeah, absolutely. So our ideal client avatar, it's the homeowner or landlord or investor who wants like to have or hands-off experience in managing the property. They busy living their life, they focused on family, work, they overseas, travel in the world, whatever it is. And they trust us. So, we create those relationships so they trust us to manage the property. Or, there's accidental landlords. For example, Navy officers, they move out, they get deployed and they still want to keep the property here in San Diego. So that's when we come in. Or investors with like smaller multifamilies. Maybe they new to the industry. So we have a hefty portfolio of multifamily, like 35%, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 units and more. And other ones are single family homes and condos. So those investors as well. So if they want to have a smooth experience, we'll stabilize the property, manage it for them, and keep them happy.
So let's go a little bit more on that, because I'm curious. What kind of problems are these people having? I mean, you mentioned someone who's like enlisted and they have orders, or they get deployed. That I understand the accidental part. What other kind of problems are investors or property managers having now, where they go, you know what, I'm fed up? I mean, I understand like frustration might be the result, but what kinds of things are happening that they're like, you know what, I don't want to do this anymore? What leads them to that choice? Like when you're listening to them say their story, what are the things you kind of summarize and go, oh, these are similar problems that people are having? It's time.
It's
really?
Time is valuable. They don't have time. And when you manage the property, we give them their time back. So that's like the major thing. And the headache, we save them a lot of headaches.
Yeah, sorry, I'm sorry. I'm reacting this way because I did not expect you to say time. I was thinking, again, these are just some of my preconceived notions. I was thinking just they don't like dealing with the tenants they have. Maybe they have a tenant that was good and then turned bad, or maybe they're just frustrated with having to fix things all the time, and they just don't want to be being the point person answering the call. But it's time. It's not even the frustration of maybe doing it. They just don't want to have. They just want to have their time back. Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah, because every phone call you get in the middle of the night, or on a Saturday afternoon when you have a brunch with your friends, family, partner, kids, whoever it is. You have to solve it. You have to troubleshoot. It is frustrating. And what does it take? It takes away your time you have. You already worked so hard, and we all work hard in this life. And we live in California, let's be honest. So you don't want to add more to your plate. You want to actually enjoy life since you have this investment property, or you're an investor, right? Or you're somewhere overseas. So, you don't want to be stressed out. You want to have time in hands to actually enjoy life while someone else is taking care of your asset.
Before I flip over to asking the renter side of things, I want to ask one more question on the investor owner side. You mentioned, 1 unit, 2, 4plex, and then you mentioned like, even 6, 8, 10. Are there big differences between having to do property management for a commercial unit versus a multifamily residential unit?
So we only focus on multifamily residential side of things, so I wouldn't be able to answer that. So
let's talk about the tenants then. So what is that composite of the tenants that you're really looking for? How are you vetting tenants to present to an owner or an investor? Go, these are the people you should consider. What are some of the things that renters can do to position themselves to get chosen for a place that you have offered in the market?
Sure. Just have a 800 credit score. Just kidding. It's not true.
You only have to have
Well, that's the first question now. Usually people ask,
Yeah.
oh, you have a good credit score? It means you're a good tenant. Yes, but there's so much more goes into it. You just have to have a rental criteria and stick to it. And you have to be very consistent with it. And as far as on the tenant side, as you're saying, be also communicative. Submit the proof of income, verifications, if you want to be chosen for a great property. We are wanting to work with you. Or, if we're talking about tenants, right? So we have a just rental criteria based on, what we ask in tenants. And we're happy to work with them, happy to approve them if they submit everything on time. So, and of course, credit score does matter, but there's other criteria that also matters.
Yeah.
So.
Do you check references if they had leased somewhere else before? Do you ever find yourself calling the other property management company or maybe the other previous homeowner that's self-managing the property to find out, hey, these people came through our system. We're looking at them for placing them in this place. Do you ever call other people and kind of scrub a little bit?
Yes, it's actually one of the rental criteria we have to check references from previous landlords, and our team checks for those thoroughly.
I know I mentioned this to you before we had scheduled even our show that, my sister-in-law and her husband actually listed their place with Lease USA.
Right.
Because they're like, we don't want to do it. like, and
They don't want to do it?
yeah, because they were getting the phone call and they were getting the fix it. And now my brother-in-law Mark happens to be very handy. He's in the trades industry, so he knows how to fix stuff. And his wife Stephanie, they know how to. She knows how to make and fix stuff too. And so, but you guys had such a simple process that they actually, before you and I had met, they had already chosen Lease USA, listed their house. They got multiple tenants on the first weekend, partly because of the process and partly because of the location and the price. So it was like this composite of everything working well together. They had the location here in Eastlake. They had the price with you guys was accurate. The home was ready. And then they had multiple people on the first weekend, and you guys were able to help them successfully place a tenant into their home.
Absolutely. I'm happy to hear that feedback.
It's a great real life front of the line story because I actually had someone else ask me, I'm looking for a place in Eastlake. And I said, oh, well, my sister-in-law's renting her place. And so she sent me the link of their place on Lease USA. And I forwarded that to the person. Go, hey,
awesome.
You're sorry, you have to apply. That was my first experience with Lease USA, actually. Okay. Yeah. And it was even on my side from the just experiential part, it was totally buttoned up. It was nice and tidy. It was clear. It was communicative. There was no vagueness about, well, what's happening here. It was really cool. You guys should, I'm saying this all because you guys should feel really good and confident about what you're making and doing, because I watched my family go through this and it was super seamless and easy. So victory lap, round of applause. Good job. Good job.
Thank you.
Good job, Lease USA, Dina and Co.
Awesome. That's great to hear. I love that. We try to make it as simple as possible. And nowadays, there are so many, obviously, other providers and vendors and property management companies. So you have to make it simple. Our life is hard enough, and we're here to make it simple. And that's, I think, the little secret I'm going to give away.
All the way, full circle moment, boomerang back. So that's the secret. It's just keeping it simple.
Keeping it simple.
Yeah, we have enough complicated, don't we?
We do, yeah, right? So we're just going to keep it simple for them.
Yeah, there's, I think sometimes in business, we think, oh, if it's complicated, it's better. Or if it seems robust and it's more thorough, it's better. And sometimes some of those steps are even unnecessary. And some things you think you need to do, or maybe things that we used to think we had to do, they don't apply anymore. Or we don't need them anymore. And I know nowadays the evolution of software and AI and the speed at which our technology moves, there's so many things it can do and be available for when we're not, or that we can't. And being at the front edge of that technologically, I think helps positions companies like yours to better adequately help people that are looking for you. That's
sure.
That's a good thing. What is, if there's anything that you could change, what would you say, like magic wand? Like, Dina, here's a magic wand. You're gonna go whoosh, whoosh, bing, and tap that wand. What would you want to change about property management, about real estate in San Diego? Pick anything. It could be as wild or as crazy as you want, or as simple as you want. What would you want to change?
Here in San Diego in property management, interesting. So I think when it comes down to, when I speak to potential landlords or homeowners directly, what I would change. Let me think. That's a good question.
Yeah, that's okay. We can sit in that for a minute. There's things I would want to change about the way things look here in San Diego. I'll while you're thinking, I'll mention mine, and I'll actually tell you guys mine. It's affordability. I think there's a lot of things that are competing for our dollars here in San Diego, beyond just our grocery bill, our gas, our housing. all the other stuff that we enjoy about San Diego, that is experience based. That's not the ocean, the mountain, or the beaches and the mountain. They cost something, and there is a cost for being here. And I wish for more people to be able to experience the best of San Diego at a price that they can afford. And unfortunately, some things I've noticed over time, they crept up in price and they kind of stayed there, and it's become a barrier for people to experience certain things in town that I wish they could. That's something for me. I'd whip that wand, and I would love for more people to experience the best of San Diego, regardless of the cost. So that's my answer. It's a little more general than property management and real estate, but I think it's connected because our dollars are being fought after every single day.
Mhm. I think I have an answer for you. There's so many laws and regulations every year. They just getting thrown at us. Oh my gosh, and everything is coming from LA. We're like, where is this coming from? And California is super tenant friendly state as it is, and it's much more stricter than any other state. So I wish it would be a little bit easier.
Really?
So in
So,
property management, in regards of those laws and regulations,
mhm.
because we like keep ourselves educated all the time on those laws and regulations, and some of them was just like, what's like what again? Another one and another one and another one. So I think it would be a little bit easier for landlords. Obviously, we taking care of that. But I think that's why we exist. That's the reason.
Yeah.
So, but if you're a landlord and you just want to manage your property, which I understand, if you just, want to self-manage, no problem, you can do that. You still have to keep up. And if you have a full-time job, this has becomes your second
man.
full-time job because you have to keep up with those laws and
Yeah.
regulations. Because if something happens, you'll be liable and a lawsuit and something else. So I think that's where it comes, the answer that a little bit easier on the laws.
Yeah, back to the simplification thing.
Yeah.
Keep things simple. I don't actually sit and think about that a lot, but you mentioned it, and now I'm thinking about it. I'm like, if I was a property manager and it was not my primary thing, you'd have to make a lot of space and room. But to your point about time, that totally makes sense now. You have to make a lot of time for that because if you're not keeping up with the laws, you have no idea what you're subject to.
Yeah.
But then that also then speaks to the advantage of having someone like you in their corner because you guys are always keeping up on that. Because at large as a company, you have to. It's not just this one person; it's all of these other people you're managing properties for.
Right.
So that makes sense too. And as much as I love the state of California, I honestly cannot bring myself to say that I think that the litigious, policy-driven nature of California is going away anytime soon. So that frustrates me on the surface level because I know the problems it causes behind that. And it does diminish and reduce opportunities for maybe people that may wish to do this or do it on their own, and then have risk associated with trying to be entrepreneurial. That's so crazy.
Yeah.
To me it is because I'm entrepreneurial, but it's just so crazy to me that there's so many things that are not only in our way to try to do something cool or good or fun or valuable, but then once you do it too, there's risk in just existing. It's so nuts. What are you most excited about right now in real estate and property management in San Diego? Like what makes you just so stoked to do this every single day?
Every single day. So now it's a busy season for us. So we have a lot of great properties, a lot of homeowners, coming to us. It's a busy season. So I like to keep it busy for myself. And I think that's what drives me. Obviously it's a lot of work, but that's my cup of tea. So yeah, I don't like to just, sit back and relax. That's not me. And that's what real estate is about. So I have a passion for real estate. And the more I learn every day, I'm like, damn, I actually like this industry. It's crazy to say that, but I do have love for real estate. I don't know where is it coming from, all this housing and, something like you mentioned at the beginning, it might be something sentimental to me, and I would like to be part of it. And I love being part of it and just connect those dots between homeownership, like I said, and finding a tenant and have that, bridge and have those relationships with the people and guide them through it and making it easy for them. So everything just like works out. All the dots are connected. Everyone is happy. And I think that what drives me the most.
If you were to pick a place or a couple of places in San Diego that you think are prime opportunities for investors to have property and then have them managed by you, naturally, what are some of the places people should be putting their eyes on that maybe they're not thinking about? And I don't mean like tomorrow. Like think about 2027, 2028, like get a couple years from now. Where would you say are some maybe some untapped neighborhoods or some untapped cities of San Diego that are due for having more rental properties built or available for the public?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Good question. So let me think about it. The properties and where we've seen it. Well, I'll start with like an example, like North Park. It was it's already all the developers are already there. Everyone is already managing, but it's not a bad place still to invest and buy. All these rentals are highly sought after. Actually, as a matter of fact, a great area is Chula Vista. All those houses go so fast. There's so many brand new developments. It's great. It's amazing. So what do you get for the pricing? And maybe some underdeveloped areas near downtown area. Like recently, I know City Heights kind of got flooded with investors. So they might have to wait a little bit for, those returns on investments because area is still developing. So you want to look at the areas that are still in development, like North Park is already developed, but City Heights is not just quite yet. So maybe, like 5-10 years from now, that's where you see it like flourishing and blooming.
Are there any now? I'm gonna flip the coin. Are there any areas where you're like absolutely don't go here? Don't. Like, are there places you just say like no to? And I'm not trying to put you on the spot. It'd be like
know you
I
are
hate
trying to
this
put me.
city. Not because I mean maybe it is because of policy. Maybe it's because of they're too close to fire areas and you can't get insurance. They're like
Oh,
there
true.
might be hidden areas. And I'm not saying that you. I'm not saying that Dina says you shouldn't go get a place there. What are some places that are maybe less advantageous? If it's Chula Vista or if it's National City and there's things working against landlords in those cities, we got to talk about those things too because we don't want people putting themselves in a situation unknowingly and
Right.
then now they're in trouble. That doesn't help them either.
Like Imperial Beach comes to my
Okay, what's
mind.
so good? I'm going to tell you something in a minute, but tell me what is going on with Imperial Beach that makes you go, think twice about that.
Well, well, every area has different like ordinances, and actually, like Chula Vista has its own. Imperial Beach is one of them as well. Imperial Beach, everyone knows it's near a Mexican border, and it's not maybe be as pleasant as Encinitas Town or something like that or Del Mar. So I would say think twice when you do it, but talk to your real estate advisor. When it comes to investing in those areas.
So I had a friend of mine who's a guest as a guest on the show recently, and he also said that Imperial Beach is like the last untapped beachfront space in San Diego. And as soon as they clean up that sewage thing, because mentioned the sewage, like
Yeah.
I know that everyone knows that's the thing.
Yeah.
It's a problem. Some days it stinks more than others. The residents are upset. The businesses there are upset. It's frustration. The policymakers are upset. But when you step back from all of that, and you go, okay, it is the last untouched place that is ready for a glow up, if you will, in San Diego, like beachfront property. And so, yeah, right now as it is today, yeah, it might not be super sexy, but in the next couple of years, I think as that situation can get addressed, as it gets better, I think that neighborhood's going to see another round of investors and developers go and start picking up because some of those lots actually have room to build in it. And
Sure.
if they can blend good policy with good environment, I think you're going to see people go that way and start building some more stuff. And it's going to create opportunities for you guys too.
Can't wait for those. And again, any investment you do, and you're right about saying all of those things, policies and under like last beach that you can still get in at a good price. Anywhere you go, you're taking a risk, and you just have to assess what is your risk tolerance, no matter where you go, right? So and those are things that are great. If you believe in it, go for it.
Yeah. That's awesome. What's the best way for people to reach you? If people that are watching this episode, they want to reach out, I want to put all the contact information in the description box below. So tell everyone real quick where they can find you, Dina.
Sure. So they can find me on my Instagram. So we can link that. It's Dina Sky, and also my email It's Dina at Lease USA, and you can also provide my phone number.
Yeah, awesome. And we'll put the We Lease USA hyperlink in the description box below. Before I wrap the show, though, is there any question I didn't ask you today that you wanted to talk about? Anything that you wanted to bring up that maybe I didn't prompt you with?
No, this was amazing.
You want to talk about your yellow jacket? Your yellow jacket's cool.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's my color, my staple color.
Yellow is your staple color. I love it. Thank you so much for coming on today. I'm so excited to have Yesenia and Billy come on as well. That we can do this like 1-2 punch, having you here from business development, having them here from the ownership perspective, also having been in real estate for so long and being so successful as they've been in and around San Diego. This is a fun little section of our experience in the Friends of Mortgage Hero space. It's been nice to meet you and do networking with you, and then also of having known Billy and Yesenia for so long. It was fun to be like, oh, wait a minute. Oh, that's how this is all together.
Right.
That was great. So
amazing. Thank
you
you.
did a great job on the show today. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
All right. Well, if you need to reach Dina or you need to reach We Lease USA, you will find the contact information in the description box below. Remember to send this show to someone who you know who's having those pain points in property management and they want their time back. Maybe they don't even have a pain in the butt tenant, but they might just want to have their time back and they want to enjoy that brunch on the Saturday with their family or friends and not get the phone call that a sprinkler head is busted in the front yard and there's a river coming towards the front door. Dina, great job today on the show. Thank you all for watching Friends and Mortgage Heroes, and we'll see you with another great guest next week. Later.